And joining me now is the leader of the opposition in the Delhi Assembly and the former Chief Minister of the Aam Aadmi Party, Atishi, joins me on that big CAG story. Appreciate you joining us, Atishi. Would you concede that the manner in which the report of the CAG has been tabled in the Delhi Assembly suggesting a 2002 crore revenue loss because of the Aam Aadmi Party government's liquor policy is a huge embarrassment, especially on the back of the poll defeat?
Rajdeep, for anyone who says that there is a 2002 crore rupee loss to the exchequer clearly hasn't read the CAG report and has only read the pointers that have come from either the BJP headquarters or the Prime Minister's office. The 8 chapters of the CAG report, 7 chapters are on the old excise policy that the Aam Aadmi Party government repeatedly said needs to be put out, needs to be changed. The CAG report repeatedly says that the old excise policy was causing loss to the exchequer. The old excise policy, the pricing was being manipulated. There was a lot of black sale of liquor happening. There was a lot of smuggling happening of liquor from Haryana and Uttar Pradesh. And that policy needed to go. Number one. Number two. The CAG report clearly says that the new policy brought in by the Aam Aadmi Party government was more transparent, was going to put an end to the sale of liquor in black and would have increased government revenues. 3, they clearly say that the new policy was not implemented properly. And that is why the target, the revenue target, the high revenue target set by the new excise policy wasn't achieved. Why was this policy not implemented?
Atishi, are you, Atishi, just a minute.
Lieutenant Governor who disrupted the policy again and again. Number two, the CBI who filed an FIR right in the middle of the policy implementation. And number 3, the ED. So let us be very clear. If the CAG report indicts anyone, it is the BJP's, the central government's nominee, the Lieutenant Governor, the central government's agency, the CBI, and the central government's agency, the Enforcement Directorate, because
Atishi,
they are the ones responsible.
Let me get in a word in here. The CAG findings.
The CAG calls.
No, Atishi, 1 minute. You know, you're saying 8 chapters. The findings that I've read the report. Policy risked creating cartels, license control in a few hands, norms violated to give contracts. Now, this is also part of the new policy. You're making it old liquor policy versus new. The CAG report, when referring to the new policy, clearly suggests that there were anomalies, which you cannot escape. It was your government.
If you read the 200, if you read the 208 pages of the report, 80% of the report is about the problems with the old liquor policy. How there was a lot of sale of liquor in black, how there was smuggling of liquor inside Delhi from Haryana and Uttar Pradesh, how the cost of the liquor, there was no checks and balances, and therefore the base cost of the liquor upon which the profit was being calculated was many, many times higher than what was being sold in other parts of the country. So,
but you brought in a new liquor policy.
Why
make it about old versus new? You brought but Atishi, you brought in a new liquor policy, and there were anomalies, irregularities in that policy, which are also the subject of a CBI inquiry. So you're making it about old versus new. You will have to justify the implementation of a new liquor policy and why that liquor policy failed.
Absolutely, and that is exactly what I'm talking about. Why was the new liquor policy? The excise revenue in 2020-21 was 4,100 crores with the old liquor policy. With the new liquor policy, the projected revenue was more than 2 times. It was 9,000 crores. Why? Because it was a better policy. It was preventing smuggling of liquor into Delhi. It was preventing the under-the-table sale of liquor that prevented revenue from coming in. Now, why was this liquor policy, which has led to thousands of crores of increase in revenue in Punjab, the same liquor policy, why did it not lead to the same revenue increase in Delhi? Why was the projected revenue not increased? Because during the implementation of the policy, the LG repeatedly threw spanners in the works and did not let adequate number of liquor stores be opened, number one. Number two, in between the implementation of the liquor policy, the CBI FIR was filed. In another month, the ED FIR was filed. Obviously, the liquor policy could not be implemented after an ED and CBI FIR has been filed. Which officer
because
is going
those
to sign
ED
the
and CBI FIR suggest there were irregularities. I don't think it's a question of the new excise policy. The new excise policy had its merits. The question is in the way it was implemented. And that's where the corruption allegedly took place.
The new excise policy had not even been implemented for 7 months by the time the CBI FIR happened. It had not even been implemented for 8 months when the ED ECIR happened. Any new policy has its implementation hiccups. More so in Delhi, where the Lieutenant Governor was repeatedly throwing spanners in the works. I can do a proper audit of GST. The number of times GST implementation had to be changed. Every GST council meeting, you have new taxes imposed, you have new taxes revoked, sometimes 18%, sometimes 12%, sometimes 28%. No, you have to file GST in an aggregate manner. No, you have to file GST in a segregated manner. There have been at least 2,000 GST notifications to improve the implementation of the GST from the first day when it was launched. More than 2,000 notifications, right? Will you say that it was badly implemented? No, it takes time for any new law to be implemented. It takes time for any new policy to be implemented. The new liquor policy was in the process of implementation. 7 months into a new policy, the Central Bureau of Investigation files an FIR. 9 months into the new liquor policy, the ED files an ECIR. Obviously. So no officer is going to sign a file after that. Once an FIR has been filed by the CBI, once an ECIR has been filed by the Enforcement Directorate, will any bureaucrat in this country sign a file of that policy? Of course they would not.
So
they were worried that many
your
of their batchmates had been FIRs filed against them. So I stand by the fact that the new liquor policy was a transparent, revenue increasing policy, has done so in Punjab.